What up, YouTube? You already know Big Lou tapping back in. What it do with Big Lou NFZR 2, baby, baby. First time coming to the channel. Be highly appreciated if you sub, like, and share the channel here at What It Do with Big Lou NFZR 2. Right? Like, share, sub with your family, friends, folks, peoples, gente, buddies, pals, amigos, amicos, and like us, Puertorriqueños, Boricuas, Jibaritos, Puertorros, Ricans, PRs, say panas. Big, huge shout out to everybody that subbed to the channel and got us over that 1,000 wow mark. That's just half the battle. Like they used to say in G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle. Excuse me. The other half of that is getting us to the 4,000 plus mark of watch hours. Excuse me. We're currently at, I think last I checked, it was like 1,800 watch hours. I think I'm positive I'm up like 500 plus watch hours for the past 28 days, something like that. Subs are up, views are up, watch hours are up. Everything's up for the channel pretty much, except I was lacking in the live area, live stream areas. I made somewhat of a comeback on that, and I started dropping, 2-3 lives a week, and then I took a dive again for about a week or so, and then I did a couple, and then I took another dive, and so we're trying to get that back going. Also, big shout out to today, this morning this is the first one I've caught in a while, because usually I sleep in today for it being my day off, QBNK Kennels, or QBN Kennels. Raul Fagundes over there in Texas, Cleveland, Texas, gave me a shout out this morning. All I did was made a comment like good morning or something, or saludos. I told him saludos, and he put me out there, and he told people to sub to the channel. He told me also in the little message, he said back to me that, hey, he watches the videos. So that was a big surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but a shout out to him for shouting us out here at What It Do with Big Lou. Also, if you guys haven't, and you guys are into bullies, or if you're a breeder, it doesn't even matter. If you're a breeder and you're into your dogs big time, such as myself, go to his channel, and a lot of the things he speaks about will help you with your dogs, even if you're not American Bully breeder or owner. If you have Dobermans, if you have Rottweilers, you have King Corsos, if you have Queensland Heelers, if you have Chow Chows, whatever you got, a lot of the information and advice he gives will pertain to all dogs. It doesn't matter when it comes to, like, their structure and different things like that. So go check out QBN Kennels, or it might be QBNK. And also on Instagram. I push his channel. Ever since I learned of his channel, started watching his channel, I've been pushing his channel. I'm not up on, I'm not tech savvy where I know how to tag in everything and share like that, but I'm sharing from word of the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And, everybody can do their thing by going on over there and giving them a sub and telling other people about it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. That's how we do it here at What It Do with Big Lou. That's how we should be doing it in the community. As people in general, look out for each other. There shouldn't be no hate, no fucking negativity and animosity and, jealousy and all the other BS bullshit. You feel me? Especially if you're in the same, breed. If you're, dealing with Dobermans should look out for other people in the Doberman community, Rottweilers in the Rottweiler community, Great Danes in the Great Dane community, Mastiffs, Bull Mastiffs in the, their respective community, American Bullies in the American Bully, community. There shouldn't be no reason for hate. Another thing that gets me when people post a picture of their dog, oh, you ain't doing it right till you get some of this guy's blood in your yard, or this is the only male that can do you right. There ain't, like, in other words, there ain't no other male dogs out there that you can crossbreed with to bring, that are, it's just weird. It's just stupid, weird, and it's there's other ways to promote your dog, your stud, your kennel, your yard, your American Bullies than to be speaking like that. You don't have to, I think when you see a dog that looks nice, give them props where props is due, man. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. There's no need to hate. There's no need to none of that. Congratulate, man. You know what I'm saying? Or wouldn't you be happy or juiced, however you want to put it, that you see a dog that belongs to your breed of dog that you raise, that you own, that's shining, that's out there shining? Wouldn't you like to see American Bully go into a UKC event and and knock everybody's socks off, by winning all the categories, winning all the trophies? I mean, wouldn't that, or you're one of them cats that's going to be like, oh yeah, but his feet were like this, or my dog looks better than that. And I mean, it's okay for you to say your dog looks better because that's your opinion. You're going to be biased. You're always going to think what you got is better. But there's a certain way to put it across to people. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain way to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And I just think a lot of people are shady ass characters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like earlier I said there's a lot of snakes in the bully game, and and Raul agreed to that, but he also said, well, I don't like to to refer it as the game. I like to refer it as a community, which I get what he's saying, because it's getting out, any type of hood talk, ghetto talk, however you want to say it, street talk, street lingo, to get it out of a professional type conversation, which I get it. You know what I'm saying? I totally get that. You want to be looked at a certain way because your ethics, you know what I'm saying? The way you conduct business, the way you conduct yourself in a professional manner at all times when it comes to business. You know what I'm saying? But no matter how you look at it, how the dogs look is still a business. The American Bullies is a breed. When you become a breeder and into selling puppies and all that, it's a business. Hey, it ain't time to be wrestling back there. Calm your asses down now. I try to break them from wrestling in the car, wrestling in the house. That's just for outside. You know what I mean? You gotta be the alpha when it comes to things like that. You gotta put your foot down, because if you don't, they'll take that little inch you give them and they'll make it into a yard. You know what I mean? Like that. Just like when they're biting on things, your shoes, your hats, your socks, your whatever it is. You can't just say no. You gotta give them other options, especially a puppy's like Champ. Champ's a pup, so he's teething, so he wants to bite on things to relieve the pain and things he's going through. Like just like a baby, when they're teething, they're cranky, right? They're crying, they're cranky. You got to put baby Orajel on there to and give them something, a teething ring, things, so they can chew on it, bite on it to help alleviate the pain, whatever they're going through. Same thing with a pup. You give them chew toys. Like right now, he's chewing on one of the chew toys. And Daisy, she's only 7.5 months old. Yeah, she's got her adult teeth in now, but she's still a pup. And if any of you guys don't know, American Pit Bulls, American Pit Bull Terriers, they chew a lot. I mean, even when they get grown, they still like to chew on things. It's just that's one of the traits of the breed, right? That's another thing too. Do all your research on dogs before you get them. Every dog's not the same just because they're a dog. They all got their own characteristics, their own traits, their own behaviors, their own their own their own internal, how they lean with it, how they rock with it. You feel me? They're all dogs are different. All dogs can't be in apartment. All dogs can't be with another dog. Sometimes their personalities call for them to be alone. You know what I'm saying? With only their owner. Some other dogs are more possessive than other dogs. Some other dogs are, when it comes to multiple people in the family, they don't do as well as a single person home, or say a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife with no kids or no other people living with them. Some dogs do better in that situation because that's that's what their breed calls for. You know what I'm saying? There's more, and that's the thing. You don't just get a dog, throw them in the backyard. They need attention. They need love. They need care. They need, a lot of money gets spent on dogs. I've spent a ton of money on food, on a few different supplements, oils that I got, teething, chew toys, leashes, collars, harnesses. You know what I mean? You got to get the shots. They're parvo shots. That's very important, especially American Bullies. They catch it easy, and it's a very ugly thing to see. It breaks down you know, where they stop drinking, they stop eating, they look sad, they sit in a corner, and you can tell something's wrong. There's a smell, it has a certain smell. The shit, when they go poop, it has a certain film on it. You know, it breaks down. I forgot exactly what it does. I'll tell you right now. It breaks down their stomach lining or something. I forgot exactly how they say it, but I'll tell you right now. What is parvo?
According to Wikipedia, canine parvo.
Okay, here you go. So canine parvo is a contagious virus mainly affecting dogs. CPV is highly contagious and is spread from dog to dog by direct or indirect contact with their feces. So when they eat their shit, other dogs' shit. Vaccines can prevent this infection, but mortality can reach 91% in untreated cases. Treatment often involves veterinarian hospitalization. Canine parvo often infects other mammals, including foxes, wolves, cats, and skunks. Felines are also okay, but there I wanted to see relatively new. CPV2 is relatively new disease that appeared in the late 70s. It first recognized in 78 and spread worldwide in 1 to 2 years. The virus is very similar to feline panleukopenia. They are 98% identical. I was trying to find out what the intestinal form. Dogs become infected through oral contact with feces, infected soil, or fomites that carry the virus. Following ingestion, the virus replicates in the lymphoid tissue in the throat. Okay, that's what it does. Yeah, the throat. Then spreads to the bloodstream. From there, the virus attacks rapidly, dividing cells, notably those in lymph nodes, intestinal crypts, and bone marrow. There is depletion of lymphocytes in lymph nodes and something. The most common bacteria involved in the severe cases are okay. So what I can't remember exactly what happens, but I know it let's see, what are the first signs of parvo? Can a dog survive parvo? Can parvo be cured? Is parvo contagious to human? What happens when a dog has Okay, so what happens when a dog has parvo is highly fictitious disease that can be fatal. Many dogs who are diagnosed with parvo will die. The virus attacks cells in the dog's intestines and stops them from being able to absorb vital nutrients. This means that a dog or puppy will become very weak and dehydrated. Yeah, so it affects their throat where they can't swallow, they can't eat. And then, like I said, it messes up their intestines and it gets in their bloodstream. And like I mentioned already, I described how the dogs will look, how they, they're dehydrated. Dehydrated. They can't eat. They can't drink. They sit there and they look sad, which, they're going through some shit, right? They're not feeling good, just like with us. You're usually laying in bed, on the couch or whatever. So they don't make those noises, but you can tell their eyes are droopy. They look sad. You can smell it. You can smell the virus. You can see it in the shit. It's got like a film, like a gray film. I've had a couple dogs that didn't survive, and I had couple dogs that did survive. And one I had to hospitalize him. His name is RAUL, and then he lived. He was in there for 7 days. I had to give $90 a day, and then on the 7th day, the vet said he was good to be picked up the next day, and then we treated him the rest of the way with some little pills they gave us. Then it was either his son or his nephew, and the reason why I say either his son or nephew is because him and his brother both bred with the female, so we weren't sure which one actually got her pregnant. So the puppy, it was either his son or his nephew. He ended up getting it, and I decided to go ahead and treat him at home, which I did. There were some pills that were about that big around. They were about that long, and you put in their mouth, close their mouth, put their mouth up, and then they would swallow it. And then we would give them like some Pedialyte type stuff, Gatorade. And about 4 days later, he bounced back. He was good. So there's a way to beat it. But if you don't try to treat it, properly, you heard what I read there. It said 91% fatality. It's a deadly disease. So, and then I've found out over the years from having American Pit Bull Terriers and Bullies that they catch it even easier than most dogs. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, but the shit attracts them, other dogs' shit and cat, and they eat it, and that's how they end up getting it. Another thing is, so you guys don't know, if you don't know already, I don't know the proper name, how to pronounce it, caca something. And it's when the puppies are stepping around. You know, you got a litter of puppies there in the yard, or you got multiple dogs, and they step in their, their shit or other dogs' shit, and then somehow their feet get in their water bowl. They get sick like that. That's why a lot of times people will recommend to put the bowls up. Now they have these new things where you can, they're stands, and they're about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches off the ground, and then the bowl, the food bowl, water bowl slot, there's a little area that's cut out, boom, and they go right in it. A lot of other people too, they'll put the water bowls and the food bowls on the kennels on the fence, with a with a vice type deal, and that keeps it off the ground. And they usually put it up a little bit higher, so when the dogs they gotta use their neck muscles to get in there, and that helps develop their neck muscles. You know what I'm saying? That's how I have their stuff in the food bowls in the crate. But these guys are growing, they're getting bigger. They barely fit in this back seat together now. I mean, it's like when I look now, you can see they're constantly trying to readjust to get more comfortable. That's why I prefer to drive one of the trucks, and that way they got more room in the back. Well, they're SUVs, but I call them trucks. And then they got more room in the back to lay and however they want to do it. But yeah, these guys are getting bigger. Champ is already like right there with Daisy. He's only about that much shorter than her, but obviously he's lanky. He's in the lanky stage right now. Anybody out there that has a dog that's skinny, and their parents are real big buff ass bullies, just trust the blood, man. This goes with the territory. A lot of times the dogs will be skinny. It just is what it is. And at some point it might be 8 months, it might be 10 months old, it might be 14 months, it might be 20 months, it might be even 24 to 30 months before they finally, they'll get their height, but until we call pop, and that's when they boom, they get buff and they widen out. It just is what it is. So even a breeder can't tell you for sure when it's going to happen, but it will happen. You just got to be patient and roll with the process. Roll with the punches, people. Don't trip. I'm here now telling you now. I got my boy. I mean, he's only 3 months old, but Daisy, on the other hand, she came already, thick. And as soon as she hit 6 months old, she really started getting thick. And now she's 7.5 months old. When I gave her a bath the other day, it was a different setup than where she's been given a bath before. It's got the stairs, and I didn't even bother to try to get her to walk up them. I just picked her up and put her in. I can feel that she's a lot heavier than before. I mean, it might be too because I had to pick her up a lot higher than when I would just pick her up and put her in the back of the SUV. But nonetheless, I mean, you can tell by just looking at her that she's getting thicker and heavier. Last time I weighed her, she was like 64 pounds, and that was like, oh man, that's been at least I didn't even have Champ yet, so I've already had Champ like almost a month. So that was about a month ago when I weighed her last. So I know for sure she's put on 6 pounds since then. I want to say she's between 70 and 75 pounds now. And she's 7.5 months old. So she's on the way. I mean, she's already bully already. She looks bully already as it is. A lot of people think she's a male until they see her turn around and they see her, her private, whatever you want to call it, however you want to state it. But until they see that, I get some messages on my DM talking about how much for a stud fee. And I'm like, it throws me off at first because I'm like, the one when I first started hearing it, not now, but I'm like, what are they talking about? Champ's only 3 months old. Then I did post a couple boys on there that I was telling, like, oh, I met this dog in person. He's a big guy, whatever. And so I thought maybe they're referring to him. But then I said, well, what dog are you talking about? Because my stud's only 3 months old. He ain't ready. And then they sent me a picture of Daisy, and I'm like, what? Don't they read the post? And the particular post that I'm speaking of, I must have said she and her name, because if you guys notice, I always put Daisy Queen, aka Daisy La Azula. So Daisy twice, Queen, that's 3 references to a female, and then La is another reference for a female, and then with the word blue is Azul, but I put Azul La, which means a female version. That's 5 references of a female. Then I put she and her another at least 5 or 6 times. So you're talking about 10 times that I referred a female, either the name, and this guy's talking about how much for a stud fee. It's like, come on, man. People don't read. It's like they just look at the picture, like if it's a picture book. You know what I'm saying? They don't even read what you post. Now I get it. Sometimes I post, I type a lot or whatever, but still, man. I mean, the starting of the whole fucking comment was Daisy Queen. I don't, I don't get it. But anyways, she's coming along good. He's growing. It's obvious because I posted a picture that I had took of them when I first got him within like the first 2 days. And then I reposted it and I said, oh, yeah, I could tell that he's growing already from this first picture, one of these first pictures I took of him. So you can tell he's got taller already, a couple of inches. His head's even got a little bigger. You know what I mean? So he's growing and he eats well. He eats all his food now, too, especially after giving him new vet. Matter of fact, I got it here with me. So I got these two bottles. These were referred to by Raul at QBNK. We were given his code because you can't buy it. You can't just buy it. You got to have a code. And so these are the bottles. This is New Vet Canine, the green bottle, and this is the New Vet what is it called? New Joint Plus, right? This one right here, you just give them, if they're under 5 pounds, you give them a half a wafer. If they're over 5 pounds, 1 wafer per day. This one right here is by weight. The blue one is by weight. And so Daisy's 50 to 100 pounds, you give her 3 wafers. He is 25 to 49 pounds, so you give him 2 wafers. You can just give it to them like that. They'll eat it because they're like chicken flavored, but I just throw it in their food and they take it good. So this one is the blue bottle is for New Joint Plus, is a natural hip and joint supplement formulated with the highest quality ingredients, used as a treat or mix in with your pet's favorite food. This great tasting, naturally healthy product is formulated to maximize the quality of your dog's life. It protects healthy joints, rebuilds cartilage, lubricates joints, expands mobility and flexibility, and improves quality of life. And then the green bottle is New Vet Plus Canine Health Supplement, is a precise combination of highest quality natural ingredients proven to combat the ravages of free radicals and provide immune system support. Puppies or senior dogs should start on the path of optimal health today. Strengthens the immune system, promotes healthy skin and coat, free radical protection, supports healthy eyes and ears, safe for pets of all ages, maximizes the quality of health. So this is basically like a vitamin for the immune system, the promotes healthy coat and skin, so allergy type stuff, supports the eyes and the ears, all that good stuff. The bottles are like 55, 60 bucks, or 45 to 60 bucks. I forgot, but I bought 2 bottles of each. And since I started feeding this the reason I'm showing this, because I think it's a good product, but if your dog's got east to west, so that's like their feet the paws are out like this. There was somebody that sent in pictures of their dog, and then they started them on this, and within a month, their feet started straightening. And so it helps out with a lot of things. The reason why I'm showing it is because since I was talking about Champ being skinny, when I first got him, he wouldn't eat his food, all of it. He would leave. He would only eat like maybe 60%, 65%, and there would still be a good amount left in the bowl. Now, he came from he was eating raw with B&B bullies, and they told me that they would give him some kibble mixed in with ground beef. He would eat all that, but they would feed him twice a day. The other time would be just kibble, which is dog food, and he would leave a lot of that. So now he comes to me. I'm just feeding him kibble with some Alaskan fish oil, and I also give him this thing called Alpha Dog, which is powder. It's a supplement for their digestive system and things. And that's all I would pretty much give him. I throw some treats in there too sometimes. And so what he was doing was he would do the same thing. He would only eat maybe, he would leave a good 30, 35% of the food left over. And so what I did was I fasted him one whole day. And then the next day I've only fed him once instead of twice. And then when it came to that second day, he tore up the food. Now that I've been giving him the new vet, he's been licking his bowl clean. I mean, you know what I mean? And her too. She'll eat hers, and then if she goes over to his bowl and like say he wandered off to go use the bathroom, he'll come back and finish it up. I have to chase her out of there. But I got these guys where I just tell them like, hey, nope, go to yours, Daisy, and she goes right to her bowl. I'll just guide him to his bowl. Every now and then he'll come over to her bowl, and I'll have to grab him by his collar, turn him around towards his bowl, and then guide him a little bit his rump, right? You know what I mean? But I don't have an issue with these guys when it comes to that. Um, she hasn't growled at him at all. And the reason why I was saying that, because he's young, she's a female, he's a boy, so sometimes he tries to hump on her. Sometimes he probably messes with her and she don't want to be messed with. Also, putting his head in her bowl. For the most part, first 5 years of her life, she was with one of her brothers from the litter, and then she was with a half sister from another litter, and then the mother, and they were together in close quarters for a while. I don't know if they just slept in that kennel at night. I'm not really sure how that went, but I'm pretty sure at some point their heads were in the same bowl, so she probably just brought that with her. And then him, because he was just with his litter mates, they would still eat together, so that he didn't have no issue going to put his head in her bowl. Now, she never snapped at him or even growled at him for doing so, but I still wasn't willing to just let it go. So I'm always usually there monitoring them, supervising them when they're eating. But like I said, she hasn't given me no reason to, be cautious, be afraid, or be nervous about them being around each other while they're eating. He's still young. She's still pretty young. I've only had Daisy a few months. So I don't know if, like I said, she probably was still eating with her brother and her other sister and her mom. Maybe her mom was allowing it. That's how it seems. So I was telling the old ladies at the grooming place the other day, they have a self where you can wash the dogs yourself, and then they have a spot where they do it too. They were tripping out, and they kept saying to me how well behaved they are and this and that. And because you go inside the little area where your bathtub's at, and it's a little iron gate, like about, I don't know, probably like 3 feet high, 3.5 feet high. So you go in there, take the leashes off from the collars, and I close the gate. While I was getting everything ready, taking off my hat, my watch, my sunglasses, um, my shirt, because I put the apron on. They have this little box underneath. You put your stuff in there. And so while I was getting ready, doing all that, putting the apron on, running out water to get it warm, they were looking that way, looking at the other dogs and stuff. They were tripping on how well behaved they were. And I was trying to let them know that, like, this has been bred into them. Their temperament is very important. Number one, their structure and their quality of life, their health. Those are the main things. But temperament has been bred in them. This is something that's been passed down from generation. They're good dogs, well-behaved dogs. Their great grandparents, parents, now them. So they tripped out on that, because most of the pit bulls they see, because these dogs, even though they're American bully, they're always going to be referred to as pit bulls. It just is what it is. Yeah, they're not pit bulls, they're American bullies, but they do have, anywhere from 60 to 3/4 of their blood is American Pit Bull Terrier or Staffordshire Terrier. And then that little bit of whatever else, 20 to 40%, 20 to 35% could be American Bulldog, Bull Mastiff, Borbal, Ken Corso, uh, Neapolitan Mastiff, Rottweiler, maybe. There's a lot of different things that makes up the rest of the American Bully. But nonetheless, I told them that if you have a dog that's out of control, that's crazy, considered crazy, he or she shouldn't be bred, because that's going to be passed down to the puppies. You know what I mean? So same thing when it goes to a dog that's sick. Depending what sickness it has or disease, you don't want to pass that on. So same thing with locos, perros locos. Crazy dogs. You don't want to pass that on. Uh, so this is a little video breaking down my dogs a little bit, breaking down a little something, something, about the American bullies. Shout out to Raul at QBN Kennels, as well as Kyle Holland from Holland's Custom Designs, I think it's called. Also, el fellow Boricua allá, Steven Torres. Vaya, saludos a ti y la gente, la familia. Bendiciones to everybody. All the new subscribers, also all the new everybody that shared the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Also, I got some other things that's in the work right now. So we'll see what we can get done with that. And yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this video down. I got another video that's coming up. It'll probably be uploaded in a couple hours. Just a little hypothetical video about Cosa Nostra. So with that being said, Big Lou is gonna tap on out, as well as where you guys at? What you guys doing? Daisy Queen and Champ. All right, peoples.